welcome back to our program. As you are aware, we are discussing about Dr. Rajapatirana's latest book that he authored, and we already discussed about 3 chapters of the book, and it's very importantly a book about Sri Lanka, and also getting regional comparisons and discussing about the policy challenges of a globalized world. Dr. Rajapatirana, welcome back to our program.
Thank you for having me again. Yeah.
So we discussed on the methodology and globalization friendly policies, globalization unfriendly policies. In chapter 4, interestingly, you are touching something that many economists or writers really do not want to get into, which
Yeah.
is the ideology.
Yeah.
So first of all, as an author, senior economist, what made you to basically think about it and actually incorporate that in a book? Because it was easy to skip that, and no one will probably question you or the author why you did not sort of include the ideologically part of it. What made you to touch on the ideology in chapter 4?
Yeah, I'll give you a classic answer, but you might want to take it out. When Englishman was asked why did he climb Mount Everest, he said because it is there.
Good answer.
Yeah.
I like it. Because it is there and you cannot really
Ignore it.
avoid it. Interesting. So you have basically touched on the ideology on multiple frames. You have taken some philosophers to define ideology.
Yeah.
Can you first define what do you mean by an ideology, and what are the global definitions that we can think about when you think about ideology?
Yeah, that's a very important question to ask. I have asked that question many times from myself, but actually it's not a very difficult thing. Ideology is a set of beliefs that we have accumulated. Different people accumulate different way. What is the outcome of a particular policy change? That's what we are dealing with. And if you leave out ideology, then there's a big vacuum there. So you have to have ideology. Statistically also it can be shown that if you omit ideology, then the fit won't come very well because it has an important role to play. Now, what is ideology? A set of beliefs. It's ideology. For example, my ideology is free trade. I think your ideology is same, free trade. We think free trade works. And actually, it actually works. So that is our ideology, believe in markets. We are ideologically committed to the idea of markets because it has worked. So that is the way people do it. Karl Marx said ideology is something between like something cover. So he didn't believe the idea, the way how we have defined ideology.
So you have actually taken Karl Marx as an example.
Oh yeah, you have to take Karl Marx. Yeah, he was an intelligent guy with the wrong idea.
And also, you have also taken people like Max Weber, right?
Max Weber, yeah.
Max Weber, and also I apologize for mispronouncing this name for sure. Bignew Brzezinski.
Brzezinski. Sprignew. Brzezinski.
Yeah, it's pronounced with a Z, Bigniew.
Yeah.
So what gathered you on the ideological front from those definitions? You explained about Karl Marx.
Yeah.
You thought it's like a cover and but what was is it the same from Max Weber and Brzezinski and
no,
even...
there are different justifications for it. But actually, as I've said before, the people were very worried about using ideology because it is something that is not very easily grabbable. It has different people have different ideas, but simple idea is that ideology is a set of beliefs. And if you want to develop even more and say that ideology is a attribute that is helpful to think about the future of some project or some country. So, for example, I think I let you use the name about the Indian gentleman
Yes.
who advised India,
Yes.
which
Mr.
they,
V.R. Shenoy.
which Indians very conveniently and sadly for them did not take him seriously.
Not only Indians, even he did a report on Sri Lanka, and even Sri Lankans
Yeah.
did not take it seriously. Indians did not take it seriously. We can
But,
discuss it.
but one did take it seriously, J.R. Javadan.
Javadan took it seriously, but in terms of the implementation, it wasn't. I think we could have done better.
Yeah, you could have certainly done better. Actually, India would have grown by today. India would be, in my book, would have done better than the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that was the case,
They,
then we could have been the first
Yeah.
beneficiary. If
Yeah.
India was significantly important as US,
yeah,
then I think our destination could have been definitely different from
Yeah.
what we are going through now. So, Dr. Rajapatirana, in terms of ideology, so you mentioned it as a set of values,
yeah.
set of beliefs. Is it? I was about to ask whether it's beliefs, and when you say beliefs, do you also think it's the values, and also to an extent, institutions are also part of that belief system?
Yeah, of course, all these things are, That's why people didn't want to get into it.
Right.
It's very slippery.
Right.
Yeah.
And also now, afterwards, then you basically discuss about the policy paradigms.
Yeah.
Now,
Ways of thinking about it.
exactly, there are ways of thinking about it. So, can you elaborate a bit, very briefly, on the policy paradigms and the role of ideology in those policy paradigms, a bit?
Yeah, ideology allows you to get a good fix on what you have to do and how ideology will have an impact on it.
Right.
So, for example, if you go back to your story about the Indian gentleman, if we followed Indian gentlemen, if India followed, we would have a different outcome. So would we? Because we are very closely associated with India, and what they done well, we would have followed, and today we will be more having higher GDP growth rate than what we have had. Although our GDP growth rate, frankly, was not too bad. It was 4.1% for 76 years. We could have done better than that, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dr. Rajapatirana, now, when you say ideology, since you also agreed and we are pretty much on the same page when it comes to ideology, values, beliefs, and interest and institutions.
Yeah.
So I know you haven't touched it on the same order,
Yeah.
but now generally when, let's say, when there's a policy maker in the front seat who believes instead of beliefs,
Yeah.
which you define in a way as ideology,
Yeah.
and generally the rest of the other things basically falls aligning with that ideology, then there will be an interest on one side, and then generally
Yeah.
you think of institutions. When I say institutions, it is not
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
the physical institutions
Yeah.
that you set up the ecosystem in a way that it
Yeah.
supports your ideology. So how do you basically see, Dr. Rajapatirana, in Sri Lanka's case, and those beliefs, and also setting up the institutions and the interest when it comes to the policy challenges
Yeah.
of globalization for Sri Lanka?
Yeah. Actually, I can't give a little bit turn here. I have to this way. If we listen to Shenoy, or if Shenoy spoke to us earlier, I discovered Shenoy by accident. Central Bank has this book by this man.
Okay.
Yeah. And nobody has seen it before. And since I was with the central bank and I had agreement with the central bank staff, they're very good library, by the way, run by she was the head of the library.
Right.
When she started asking what are the books we should order, I loved it because
Right.
I wanted the books like Shenoy book to be there in the library, and they kept it, bought it.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yes. So it's important that you brought Shenoy to the conversation. I just wanted to touch upon like how that ideology and institutions basically shape up the pathways to globalization,
Yeah.
and what is in your book that the readers probably can go a little bit deeper on understanding it.
Yeah, I'll go and say it the other way.
Okay.
Supposing we had left ideology,
Right.
and like everybody believed, then nothing you can do with it.
Right.
But they'll find a big hole in their thinking if they were to have abandoned it. So it helped the service. Now the
Yeah.
the way that people started thinking when Shenoy brought that, they didn't fully discover what he was saying or didn't agree also, but it worked out well. So, for example, India would have had a different growth rate, and as you say, we would have also had, like India, a better growth rate.
And Dr. Rajapatirana, in your policy paradigms, you speak about, I think, about two models, like the rational choice and the reflectivist sort of model.
Yeah.
And you, in the rational choice model, like the interest groups and the policies coming from the coalition, building, negotiation, you discuss about it.
Yeah.
Could you also elaborate a bit more, like how those two models, when you consider Sri Lanka, how those aligned? I'm coming to the next part, like how different governments and their coalition building basically shaped up to globalization, friendly policies versus globalization, unfriendly policies. But I was for to understand the two models, and do you have any comparables? Because you also mentioned in Sri Lanka, from shifting for ideologies, it was a little bit slow compared to Latin America, where the shift was kind of faster. Could you elaborate a bit, give a flavor of this interest group model and the reflectivist model a bit, so then we can easily deep dive into the Sri Lankan episodes, like the narrations that we had?
I would say, begin by saying it's not easy,
Right.
but I'll try to do it. And start with the very beginning is that if you had not taken ideology into account, you would have got a different result, and the result won't be as good as what we have got.
Right.
That's the first idea.
Right.
But people think in different ways. But Marx never bought this idea. He thought ideology was a cover for what you want to do. Obviously, not a good thing. But supposing Marx, somebody sat him down, Shenoy, I think Marx was alive actually. Shenoy had a good conversation. Shenoy would have been able to change Marx's idea. But Marx himself was a very good thinker. The way the support he got from the people who listened to him were very strong. They are still there here, and so it's very difficult to define.
Understand.
Yeah.
And before I come to Sri Lanka's those ideological shifts, now you also look at economics on a more data-driven, factual basis sort of a lens.
Yeah.
So when you look at policy challenges for a globalized world, when you weight ideology, is there a way that you can quantify it, or is there a model that you can think about?
There's a way actually.
Okay.
From statistics, no problem. So we have what I call, we have different variables.
Right.
And if you include ideology in it, then you get a better fit for your equation.
Right.
Yeah. So you can, if you neglect it, then you are losing an important part of the argument.
Right.
And so therefore, by bringing ideology back into the house where people are thinking about these things, we get a better fit for our statistical information, that we use it in order to make ideology, whether it worked or not. Usually, if we leave ideology from the equation, then we don't get as good a fit, good result as we would if you were to include ideology.
Got it. Next, Dr. Rajapatirana, we'll move to the four, the trajectories of Sri Lanka. So from 1956 to 59, there was this, on the ideological context of Sri Lanka, there's this SWRD Bandaranayaka's time.
Yeah.
And that was after independence. So how do you see the ideological weightage? Because it's obvious that was more to the left of center,
Yeah.
more self-sufficiency, you do everything on your own, and also it's more the Sinhala Buddhist majoritarianism
Yeah.
that was prominent. So how, when you look at that ideology versus globalization, how do you, what is the connection?
No, I think that the results would improve
Okay.
by including variables that matter,
Right.
not something just taken out of, this could would make a big difference. If we didn't include in it this variable, we wouldn't have got such a good fit result.
Got it. When it comes to Dr. Rajapatirana, Mr. SWRD Bandaranayaka's time, the
Yeah.
ideological connection and how it,
Yeah.
globalized world, how does it basically, in your view?
SWRD Bandaranayaka was influenced by Jawaharlal Nehru. Nehru was a globalization unfriendly man because he was a part socialist, and he thought that is what would help India. But actually, some people have estimated, my friends among the Indian theorists, put the clock back for India by about 50%. So in other words, if they follow this, India would have been growing double the rate it has been growing. Of course, now India is about to do 7% GDP growth rate average in the next 10 years. That is because they have taken all these factors into account.
Correct. So you, again coming back to how if the ideologically framework was different during Nehru's time, and if someone like Shenoy were to, or some person like Shenoy to influence the ideological context of Nehru, definitely things could have much different.
Yeah, but actually Nehru would have never agreed to Shenoy. Didn't really agree to Shenoy. Because Nehru had his own guy.
Right. And I think we broadly spoke about in the previous episodes how there was a delegation came from different parts of the world to Sri Lanka and having that conversation.
Yeah.
And then after SWRD Bandaranayaka, then came Sirimama Bandaranayaka.
Yeah. But I will comment as we go on.
Right.
Sirimama Bandaranayaka was a very good person. However, she was coached by the leftists at that time. Samsamaja Party, Communist Party, she created a coalition. And she was quite happy, satisfied that she followed theirs. These are very well-informed people like Dr. Nempera,
They're all good, nice people.
Nice people, good people. But they had the wrong ideas about economics. And actually, if I believe if they were living now, they would not be in this. They would have been thinking.
They would have changed their mind.
They changed their mind. Actually, the bright people are always ready to change their mind. So they didn't, unfortunately. And a lot of Indians complain and say, see what these people did. They held us up by 50%. We would double our per capita income if they didn't follow some silly ideas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then came J.R. Jayawardena.
Yeah. J.R. Jayawardena wanted, from the very beginning, he had respect for ideology. Yeah. He said we need this idea.
Is it? Just to pause you there. I heard that J.R. Jayawardena actually in 1977 he of course pretty much convinced, but before that in the previous election or the election before that, he was also more inclining with the not really the socialist side, but he was also on the self-sufficiency front. And then I think Shenoy reports and things like that actually got him to think the other way around and change. Is there any truth to it, or is there any evidence to back that up? Or?
No, I think that is correct. that Jayadhan being also a very smart man, a lawyer, good lawyer, and who got convinced that this is worth a try, because this was not the standard thinking at the time. Shenoy brought a new idea into it, and so Shenoy was then. Jayadhan was convinced that this is a good thing to do, and therefore he was supporting Shenoy's ideas. That is so. This is correct that Shenoy's ideas were also what became Jayadhan's ideas. Yeah.
Got it. And then after Jayavardhana, it came pretty much, of course, there were multiple episodes afterwards. Of course, there was Ranasinghe Premadasa. For a short period, there was D.B. Wijetunga. And then there was Chantrika Bandaranayaka Kumaratunga. So, any thoughts on, I think what you have mentioned in President Chantrika Bandaranayaka's time was, she basically, in a way, softened the stance of the SLFP, which were originally quite globalization unfriendly, and she basically softened their position. You want to elaborate that, Dr. Rajapatirana?
So, and this is true that he made it a little bit soft compared to what other people were talking about. And she had a great person to help him, S. Jayavardhana. Yeah, who was the governor of the bank later. He was also a Marxist.
S. Jayavardhana?
Before he saw the light.
Smart person also changed their mind after realizing
no, smart people always change the mind, actually, so they work together a lot.
Right. And then came President Rajapaksa's time, and again, pretty much kind of a reversal of the globalization friendly policies again. More tariffs, para-tariffs. And of course there was war, so it has to be financed. Our friend Professor Athukorala mentioned like how basically tariffs were used to finance the war. So it became more protectionist. Do you want to comment on that period on a globalization lens? What happened? What could have been different? On the other front, we I think discussed also in the book on the different time frames that we have analyzed, globalization friendly versus unfriendly. But ideologically, do you see anything different or anything that we have to make noteworthy during that period?
No, I think that what we have already discussed so far in the book, is what actually happened.
Right.
We are using an incident that actually happened. We are thinking about Sri Lanka that we know very, very well. And a lot of people agree that with that analysis.
Got it. Also, Dr. Rajapatirana, I want to quickly, on the final few minutes, also to look at the regional aspect. We spoke briefly about India and the ideological influence they had. Any other countries that we should consider, countries like Bangladesh, or any other countries where that ideological framework really shifted and changed the interest and the institutions and really went, as you have mentioned in the book, there could be similar contexts for two countries, but that ideological difference may probably end those two countries in two different destinations based on what they do. So in Sri Lanka, in Asia's or South Asia's context, any lessons from Bangladesh or from India that we missed out?
No, there's a whole lot of countries that did very well.
Okay.
And look at the East Asian countries.
The ASEAN bloc.
The
ASEAN bloc.
ASEAN bloc. They looked at the other countries and say, why did they grow? And they suddenly, they imitated, they followed the same thing. They followed what other people were doing and showing good results. And that's very creditable that they did. They were not stopped by ideology, nobody. They didn't care for it. They said, we want to get this growth rate going, this way of doing it. This is what the Indonesians did, or,
the
Vietnam all followed what they thought was good for them, and they succeeded.
Got it. Dr. Rajapatirana, any final thoughts on chapter 4? We discussed 3 chapters, and today's the more conversation about, as we discussed at the beginning, that's something that many economists really do not want to touch upon
Yeah.
because the path is a little slippery.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to highlight? Anything that I
But
missed?
I going to say that they can't ignore now.
Mhm.
We have made the case also.
Right.
They can't ignore. Other countries in Asia that you mentioned,
The Vietnams, the South Koreans,
yeah,
the ASEAN bloc, the
yeah,
Indonesians,
they
and
had no. Actually, the Vietnamese guy who was negotiating the thing told me, Sarath, we should have done even more.
right.
I said, you have done enough? That's enough. No, we could have done even more. And so they followed. They had no, even Indonesians have no problem. When they see something working there, they say, we'll do that. And he'll ask me, why wouldn't we do that? And they are completely right on those things. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Rajapatirana, for joining this episode,
Yeah.
and looking forward to see you on discussing on chapter 5 as well.
Yeah.
So if you are watching us, please go and subscribe and also become an Advocata Insider. It's just 12,000 rupees per year. That's 1,000 rupees per month. And we are also, you can find us on social media. In Sinhala, we are there as Advocata Plus. And in Tamil, you should be able to find us as Advocata Kural. And
Yeah.
it could be Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We are pretty much across all social media platforms. Dr. Rajapatirana, thank you very much again.
Yeah.
And we'll see you with a new episode next week.